as of today, or technically yesterday if you account for the scenario that pushed Rockstar to have to release the trailer early, which I would not want to have to deal with anything like a scenario like that, because I can only imagine how incredibly stressful that's got to be as a studio. But regardless, the official trailer for GTA 6 has now finally dropped. This is a trailer that honestly we have been waiting for as a community for so many years. And as someone that played GTA 5 at launch and also played GTA 4, seeing this trailer is actually kind of surreal, because it's a trailer that a lot of us kind of almost didn't think we were going to see, or maybe we were never sure whether or not we were going to actually even see it. And since everybody has basically broken it down at this point, everybody has done a full analysis, everybody has done this, that, and the other, we are instead going to do a very specific specialized breakdown where we talk specifically about the vehicles in the game. And of course, if you're looking for a different type of breakdown that talks about something aside from vehicles, there are, of course, lots of other trailer breakdowns out there from, of course, a community of wonderful creators. So, of course, make sure that you support their trailer breakdowns as well. And with that, let's go ahead and dive right into it. I want to start with this shot right here because not a lot of people paid attention to the vehicles over on the right-hand side, but it looks like we have a Jeep XJ as well as a dent-side Ford with a flatbed. Now, whether or not that actually confirms the potential for switching out pickup truck beds for different things like flatbeds, that of course remains to be seen, but I definitely think it would be a really cool feature to have, and it would also be something that would be very well liked. Also, that is clearly an RWB Porsche right smack in the middle of that intersection. It looks like an RWB 964 without the large GT wing. It's just got the little ducktail on the back. Now, I will say my apologies to the dirt bike and ATV people. I don't know what any of these are. However, if you recognize any of them or recognize maybe what brands they may be based on, let me know in the comments down below. A lot of people seem to have picked up on this one, but that looks like a Dodge Challenger with a Florida Highway Patrol livery/design. However, I'm not entirely certain on that, but looking at it from this angle, that's what I think it is, and that also seems to be what a lot of other people think it is. Also, potentially the car up in the center middle, like the top middle, I wonder if that's like a Volkswagen GTI. A couple more pursuit vehicles are shown here. We've got a Crown Vic in front, followed closely by a newer Explorer, which looks like they're definitely going to be spanning multiple generations of patrol cars, to say the least. Because while I'm sure some departments still use Crown Vics, they are being phased out, or at least they seem to have been getting phased out for quite a while now, because I think they're no longer in production, although I could be wrong on that. Someone let me know in the comments. And now we get to the Mudbog scene. Now, we're going to spend a lot of time on this one because there are a lot of details to go over. So the main truck in the background looks like it's raised on some kind of, I don't know if it's going to be like a monster truck frame or potentially more of like a mega truck subframe cage with, it looks like it's got tractor tires. It doesn't look like it has monster truck tires, which are usually a lot wider. And then if we zoom in, it looks like we might be seeing the back end of like a Jeep Gladiator, potentially, because it also looks like it's missing a back door, which also begs the question of, will we be able to actually do, you know, door deletes and tube doors and other stuff that you see on Jeeps in the real world? I mean, that would make sense that they would bring in more Jeep customization, seeing as it's based in Florida, or at the very least, a fictional recreation of Florida. And now expanding to one of the wider shots, we have a lot of details here. There's the silver lifted truck on the left. There's also, if you look way in the back, there is a monster truck jumping off of what looks like maybe a jump. And then there's side-by-sides, and then there's the other monster truck approaching in from the right-hand side of the frame. There's a lot to go over in this one. And I can definitely see the side-by-sides being a main focus of gameplay. Again, considering where the game is set, and also considering the fact that like probably 70-80% of all of the off-roading that you're going to do in Florida involves some form of mud, I mean, these things just make sense. And then as we cut back to another wide shot, the biggest thing that I am hoping for in terms of the fact that we've at least been shown this gives me a little bit of hope that hopefully we have better mud physics now. And I know that obviously I've been kind of spoiled by the Runner series having, all of this extremely in-depth terrain deformation and mud deformation and stuff like that. But if it's anything close to that in a GTA game, it's gonna be wild. Now, it's pretty clear that this is the standard Sand King from GTA 5. However, if you look up underneath it, and you can't really get all that good of a look at it because it's driving by in this shot and there's a lot of blur, it looks like the lift kit is A, very different, and B, it looks like it has a lot more parts. Now, does that mean more in-depth customization for lift kits themselves? I mean, I don't personally know, but I do think it would be really cool to see, because obviously in terms of custom trucks and a lot of things that people do, we see in the real world people have things like powder-coated suspension arms, powder-coated basically whatever the hell you want essentially can be powder coated under one of these trucks. Now, do we know if we're going to have that level of customization? I have honestly no clue. However, it would be really cool to see, because I think it would just allow people to have that level of freedom and customization that they look for in a GTA game. Also, here in the back of shot, just a casual Ram 3500 dually it looks like. So there might also be a little bit of a focus on tow rigs being in the game too. And if there is, I mean, we better be able to actually have a scenario where we can have our tow rig and then a gooseneck trailer, and then say, for example, a mud truck and a side-by-side on the gooseneck trailer. Can you imagine the level of RP scenarios that are going to be created out of all this stuff? And now we get to the part of the trailer that seems to be a little bit more, controversial than the rest, because it obviously very clearly involves a intersection street takeover. And to be honest, kind of the way I'm looking at this is, it's GTA. It's kind of whole idea and whole basis is crime anyway. Literally, if you look at the recipe for making a GTA game, it's like, the secret ingredient is crime. And really, at the end of the day, with GTA being almost like this parody of things going on in the real world, I definitely think it makes sense that these are in the game. Although at the same time, I can see why some people would be upset that these are here, because yes, these are responsible for stricter laws being imposed on car enthusiasts, car meets. But I don't know, maybe if you're able to do street takeovers in GTA, then maybe less people will be doing them in the real world. I guess I can hope, but it probably won't actually happen that way. But I don't know, I can hope, because at the end of the day, street takeovers honestly only hurt car enthusiasts, and they really, it's frustrating to see them happen, because every time they happen, car enthusiasts have to deal with stricter and stricter laws in the real world because of them. However, moving on, once again, here we see what looks like an Aventador SV, and then right next to it, there is some variation or some trim or model of a Challenger. And then once we expand to the wider shot, we see a 911 Cabrio, we see a 512 TR, we see what looks like potentially a Zagato version of an Aston Martin, followed by a C8 Corvette. And I just want to say, I definitely think that they are just skirting the line of licensing issues with that 911. At least it looks like that to me. I'm sure that Rockstar probably isn't all that worried about it, but I'm looking at that and I'm like, how is that not a licensed Porsche 911? But in any case, this next shot also gave us a look at a lot of very specific vehicles. You can see we've got the donks, we've got the lowriders, and then if you look into that yard a little bit, it looks like there's also a Crown Vic, there's a custom Harley, there's also a custom sport bike, there's a Rolls-Royce Cullinan, as well as what looks like a fairly pedestrian Chevy Tahoe. Also, how is that not a licensed Chrysler 300? How? I'm looking at this and I'm like, that is just... There's no way. There is no way. Of course, I'm sure they changed it up enough that it wouldn't be an issue, but still. Also, here in this shot, we see what looks like the back end of a fictional version of a newer NSX as they go down the highway. Now, I don't know if this is going to be like a gameplay dynamic that you can actually like hang out the roof of a convertible while you're on the highway. I mean, potentially it's GTA, so you never really know. Rounding things off on the beach here, it looks like we've got, I'm thinking maybe an F-150. It's kind of obstructed by the crowds of people, but F-150, a little boat trailer, a couple of jet skis in the water, fairly standard looking stuff. Although you can let me know what you think that truck is in the comments below. And then finally rounding this off, I've seen a couple of breakdowns where people have called this a hovercraft. Y'all, that's an airboat. That's not a hovercraft, that's an airboat. But with that is where we're going to round out this breakdown. If you think I missed anything, let me know in the comments down below. And if you are as excited about GTA 6 as I am, make sure you stay subscribed for any and all of the future content around GTA 6. And with that, I will see y'all next time.